What is up, folks? Welcome back to another live stream repair. We, buddy, have got a lot to fix here. We took the last few days off here for the 4th of July. Since all the shipping stores were going to be closed, there wasn't much point for us to worry about fixing a whole lot here, but we're gonna fix a bunch here this weekend so we can get them out when everyone opens back up on Monday. In any case, let's get the queue filled out up on the top left of the screen there. The first one up is an anonymous repair, number 3832, with some kind of bad bass. Let's get them plugged in, booted up, and shoot them a message so they can watch the work. Don't know what that was, but rest in peace. Let's see, 3832. Alright, we got them messaged. Who's next? It's gonna be Joel. 3828. We'll shoot them a message. Alright, so Joel with a brick, and then 3859 with bad bass, and then Holland with a brick, 3838 with no power, 3850 with no power. Then we've got Juan with a brick, 3855 with bad bass, and 3868 with no power. There we go. I'm gonna make that all fit in one line. That'll make me feel better. Who do we have in the chat with us already here so far? Shovel Hands, welcome. Stefan, welcome, folks.
There's a problem with the Wi-Fi.
Alright, so it sounds like we've got a pretty typical case of DC filters gone bad. I'll go ahead and just put death farts, that's what people know it better as. And where's my, here we go. Let's dig in. What's char? Who's char? Oh, also, 12 hour stream, that'd be pretty brutal. That would be really, really rough. We'd have to have like 15 to 25 HomePods to stream for 12 hours straight. I'll do that when we have, when it's a full-time job, eh? Oh. Welcome back, side camera. Subwoofer has survived the thrashing. Oh, salt water. Yuck. Say, you can give it to me to recycle. I'm not fixing that. Mike, see, here's the thing. After you've worked with so many HomePods, you learn their language. Just because you don't understand their language doesn't mean I don't. And they're saying, fix me. Fix me. Fix me! Mike wants to be closer to all the planes. SeaTac is the airport here in Seattle. Or the town that is there actually a SeaTac town? Is that, or is it just the name of the airport? No, I have to freaking. Yeah, SeaTac is actually the name of the town. A fresh, fine set of new filters on there. A new Schottky diode is in order to prevent no power issues because of that date code on there. We don't have to replace all these Schottky diodes, but we look out for two particular date codes that are a sign that it'll cause no power. So we'll get that swapped out before it needs it. Okay, alright. Let's get some stuff going here. Alright. How expensive is it up there? I don't know off the top of my head. You'd have to look up on Zillow. It's not, It's not an awful area, but it's not the definitely not the most expensive because of obviously the noise from the airport. But I don't know. Off the top of my head, I haven't actually looked into living at SeaTac. Do I enjoy jet skiing? I freaking love jet skiing, man. My folks, my older folks have. Why is that not focusing? There we go. My older folks have a lake property in Coeur d'Alene. Technically, it's in Mica Bay, but nobody knows where Mica Bay is. More people know where Coeur d'Alene is. But they have lake property in Mica Bay, and it's a cabin half built over the water. Really unique piece of property. But every summer we would go out, and my grandpa had a couple of jet skis out there for us, and I would love to rip around on those things. One year, what's so silly is this hat. I've been riding jet skis ever since I was probably like 8 years old. But I went over there for the 4th of July when I was like probably 18 or 19, I think. And just the usual, doing laps around the bay. And I somehow threw myself off the jet ski, which normally isn't a problem because the key's clipped to your vest and the key will yank out of the jet ski and shut the jet ski off when you fall off, so that way it's not cruising and idling away from you, because they idle, they move at a speed when you're not doing nothing, kind of like your car, right? It creeps forward. Well, anyways, I fell off. The key stayed on the jet ski. It freaking unclipped itself from my jacket, and I didn't realize what had happened until it wasn't slowing down. It had just kept cruising away from me, and I started to panic. I'm now stuck literally in the middle of the bay. It's probably about a 3/4 mile swim back to the cabin. A rogue jet ski is now cruising around the bay with no pilot on it. I kid you not, I managed to swim all the way back to my cabin, sit in panic on my dock, and watch with a set of binoculars as my jet ski went all the way around the perimeter of the bay. And literally, it was just turned so perfectly that it just did a loop around the bay and looped right back around in front of the cabin. And I jumped out there and I swam out towards it and intercepted it and was able to drive it back in. Man, what a thrill that was, I guess you could say. I got extremely lucky that A, no one tried stealing it, B, it didn't run over someone or collide with anybody else, or C, land itself and damage anything or hurt anyone landing itself, or driving up onto a beach. Absolutely insane. Like my head was like spinning for a few minutes there, like, what do you do? It's just kind of one of those things that you can't. It's hard to really believe that it actually happened unless you see it happen yourself. But the whole loop around the bay is probably like 5 or 10-ish miles. Oh, it'll go forever idling. It'll go for hours idling. But it must have taken at least an hour for it to go all the way around and come back to me. But all I could do was just kind of sit there on my dock with my binoculars and just watch it kind of bubble around the lake until it made its way.
connecting to the internet.
Yeah, much better. Ooh, much, much better. Alright. It is time for Joel the Brick. Let's take a quick peek here. Get their name up on the screen. Well, golly gee, that looks like it ain't gonna boot, huh? There it is, the blinkies. As expected. Let's get access to the debug port. And we'll see if it throws any fits about trying to restore the software. Here we go. Make sure we grab the right power cord here. I don't want to take the one plugged into our kilowatt. That's nice to see how much power these pull, but when we're restoring the software, that doesn't matter. What's it got for us? Clean your screen. Give me the good stuff. Yes. It looks like it's going to take the restore. Alright, this process could take a good 5 to 15 minutes, so we're going to set the laptop off to the side and let this proceed while we work on another HomePod. That should, most hardware errors tend to throw the software restore out of the window pretty early on that process, but we're not completely out of the woods until it completely finishes, so we'll let that go. We'll grab another pod here. This one's going to be number 3859 with bad bass. We'll stick their name up there next to Joel there. We got some kind of bad bass on Joel's here as well, or on 3859. Let's get that booted up and take a listen. Ooh. bass does definitely sound a bit weaker than it should, and we've got some pretty severe popping as it wakes up and goes, turns back off. Hopefully the subwoofer survived, but we will find out here. Why are you watching in 144p? Is your service not great where you're at? Or is there something wrong with my stream? You're out in the mountains, aren't you? Or is that not yet? The HomePod probably just looks like one giant black pixel, huh? Oh, 12 pixels. Okay. A little better than I expected. It's pretty good. It gives you enough context. Let's see what we're doing. Watching HomePod repairs up in the mountains. That's gotta be something, huh? You don't even get radio stations, but you're you're getting the HomePod fixins. Subwoofer has survived. Where did Stefan go? How was my 4th? It was good, actually. We drove downtown. Not downtown. Yeah, it was kind of downtown. We just walked around town for a little bit. We didn't end up staying for any fireworks. We kind of just went home, hung out for the rest of the night, relaxed. Didn't do anything too exciting, but sometimes you kind of need that. Alright, what else is in order here? Don't need a new Schottky diode, that's a good date code there. 10 ohm resistors looking good. Everything else looks great, actually. So I believe we can put this back together. And it looks like the restore has finished on Joel's HomePod. Let's give that a power cycle and see what it does. Hey. That is a happy HomePod. Almost. We're still going to do the hardware maintenance to it. I believe they opted for that. We'll let it test overnight just to make sure there aren't any issues. like hardware-wise, that caused its software to go bad. That's still entirely possible, but we'll test it overnight, make sure it doesn't need anything before we crack it open for the extra hardware maintenance if they opted for it. Awesome. Now we got more space in our desk back. I suppose we should let Holland know that they're coming up next year. There we go. We got a fella Holland messaged. Is that Nixon? What is up? Welcome back. Yeah, where the heck is Stefan? Oh no, and I didn't. We can't have fireworks in a lot of the counties around here. You gotta go out and about for that. Only the cities run their fireworks shows. I used to, I used to do the one-off illegal firework here or there, or more often strapping rockets to stuff. But I'm old enough to know better. I've got a wife and kid, and I don't want to give the cops any more trouble than they're dealing with. But you bet when I buy my own house and I have property, it's all fair game again. Oh, apology accepted, Nixon. Though I won't look past repeat behavior. If it happens again, these hands will be shuffling. But no one's hurt, no hard feelings. We're all good. At least I am. I'll let Shuffle Hands speak for themselves. Are basements much of a thing? Yeah, more or less. I mean, the house that I grew up in, my room was the basement. And then a couple of the houses I've lived in since have had basements. The place I'm in now is a rambler, no basement, so When am I moving to Japan? Oh man. Oh man. I mean, I would personally like to live in America as long as I can. Japan would be a nice place to live, to like move to when I get older. And I've got a bunch of money and I don't have to worry too much about working. But you never know what could happen. Might need to say goodbye to the country, and Japan's our first pick, if that's ever the case. But I wouldn't like to move out anytime soon. Out of the country, out of the state even. We'll see what the future holds. Get a house with a basement so I don't have to whisper. Oh no. I got bigger plans than that. Whatever house I get has to have, or I'll build a freaking shed or something, because I want to be loud and obnoxious. And I don't want to bother other people when I do it. I could probably soundproof the room of a house that we buy. Get it almost good enough. But the idea of just having a streaming shed. BV, what is up, welcome back. Yeah man, that Fuel Band is a wild ride. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. We're catching up on all of these HomePods right now, but we'll be looking at that Fuel Band very, very soon. When it said it got delivered, I never realized I never actually got it. And then I think it was a few weeks later, it just showed up in my mailbox. Like long after they said it was actually delivered. So I imagine they just, they must have like lost it somewhere in the store. And then finally, finally saw who it was to and shoved it in my mailbox. So I haven't actually had my hands on it for that long yet. But we're gonna get to it as soon as we can here. Fear not, I have not forgotten. All right. We've got Holland's HomePod here now. Probably some kind of a brick. Let's see here. Uh-oh. So, why is that
I'm having
working?
trouble connecting to the internet.
Why is that working? the fact that it's working now tells me they either sent us the wrong HomePod, or it was blinking when they sent it to us and it magically fixed itself, meaning it's got a hardware issue on the logic board. Man. This one we can't fix here and now because I've got a big, huge backlog of HomePods that need new logic boards. So this one will unfortunately have to wait in line. I've got 3 others that need logic boards, so let's I didn't even get enough time to message the next person for repair yet. All right. No lights, no power, couple of watts from the wall. That would all point to the usual dead diode on the amplifier. Let's get it fixed. Yeah, so the reason why that bricked HomePod is working for us, it's likely got to do with the infamous NAND, or that storage chip, or in particular the BGA that connects it to the board. That failure is quite often intermittent and temperature related. So if we leave it plugged in, I'm sure it'll eventually blink the volume buttons again on us. But I don't want to just say, oh, it showed up working, so we'll just charge you for the hardware maintenance and do the hardware maintenance, and send it on its way and just hope for the best. I've seen it enough times where people swear left and right they sent us the right one. It had blinking volume buttons when they sent it. We assume that it's okay because it's working fine for us here. And of course, as soon as they get it back, it starts having issues again. So it will need a new logic board at the least if we don't feel like tearing their logic board apart and trying to fix it. It's gonna cost the same either way. We just don't have the time to stall everybody else's repair to mess with that here and now. We gotta get through as much as we can, and then once we have the time to slow down, we can catch up on the more complicated repairs that all need new logic boards. And the fact that it immediately started working for me too, you know, that's a punch in my gut, because that immediately means that there's a hardware issue. I'm not even going to bother trying to restore the software because A, the software is working at the moment, and B, we have now established that there is an intermittent hardware issue that needs addressed. And it's the hardware issue I hate fixing the most here, so me no leggy. We've still got one more bricked HomePod to look at today, so there's still an opportunity for me to fully crash out here. We'll see how that one goes. Which one is that going to be? That's going to be number 3862 from Juan. Oh boy. Let's message... No, we did, did we let the right person know here? 38. Okay, so we need to also let 3850 know that they're coming up next year. I think we... Yep, no, we didn't let them know yet. Okay. Alright. We got 3838, I believe, here with us watching along. We got 3850 message letting them know they're coming up next. I will not crash out. I will not crash out. Smells well used, but perfectly fine. This person loves their HomePod, I can tell. They super glued those ones in. Lick the caps. I can't. Not yet. Let me get the amp out first, at least. Okay, here you go. That'll be $20. Alright. We got new fart filters on there to keep the death farts away and that subwoofer nice and healthy. We got a new Schottky diode on there to fix the power issue, with a new one that won't fail again. It's also stronger and higher rated, higher quality. Literally a better version in every way, even though it doesn't need it. But there you go. We'll get this back together and take a look at the next one. Hello, chat. Yeah, Stefan isn't here. He must have fallen asleep early or something.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the home app.
I do not want to reset my password right now. Good grief. I just want to sign in. All right, let's get this out of here. Let's get 3850 up here. Let's get Juan messaged and let them know they're up next. All right. What's going on?